Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Aaron Nahara, head of content at Polarr Next. Today, I am beyond thrilled to introduce you to the incredible San Francisco-based wedding photographer, Alina Roz, and her charming sidekick, Odin. She's one of the first photographers who has been putting Polarr Next to the test since April, and now she's joining me on screen to spill the beans about her editing journey. But before we dive into the magic, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. We've got a lot more Polarr Next content coming your way. Welcome everyone. I've got my guest here, Alina, and your last name is Roz?
It's actually just a short part of my last name. I shortened
okay.
it because it's a little complicated to pronounce in America, but my last name is Rozic. But I just keep it Alina Roz.
Okay.
For a little more simplicity.
I would love for you to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, all that good stuff.
Okay, so I'm a photographer since we're doing this on the Polarr channel. I'm very thrilled to be the first invited guest to be a part of it. I've been working with Polarr for the past 6 months, so it is very exciting for me to be here. I grew up in Ukraine. And currently I'm living in San Francisco and obviously doing photography here. I started my photography about 4 or 5 years ago. I graduated as an engineer back in Ukraine, but I never wanted to be one. So life has its own way. I moved to the States about 6 years ago, and I got a chance to kind of like explore what I like. Cameras were always around me. That was kind of like a long-term hobby that I never took serious. And when I got a little more free time, I started just taking more classes, learning, exploring, definitely playing with different cameras. And it took me all the way over here. So I have a business in San Francisco. I'm the main photographer on the business, but I do have some help that I get, as you know, like second photographers and stuff. But I mainly work with engagements and weddings. That's what I photograph the most. But I also say yes to a lot of interesting projects. So Polarr is actually one of them.
Yeah. Can you talk about
reached out?
Yeah. How do they reach out? You were just minding your own business, doing your photography, and how did that come about?
It's actually very interesting to be a photographer in the Bay Area because I'm so surrounded by tech. All my friends are in tech and they have this Monday through Friday work. Yeah. And I'm the only one kind of like freelancing and exploring and building this business. So I really was surprised to hear from Polarr. They reached out to me, I think around April. They introduced themselves. We had just a Zoom call. They were asking me about the problems that photographers are facing in their like routine that they do. We had just a conversation. I expressed all my feelings, what I like about photography, what I don't like about photography. And I think our next Zoom call was about a week or two later, and they offered me to be a part of their project or do a consulting for them. We don't even call it a name, but
I want to go back when they asked you, for you to describe your problems with like editing softwares and things like that. How did you feel in that moment? Did you feel like, why do you want to know my opinion? Or like, we're all like bound to the big like Adobe Lightroom machine. Like they've got such a big influence and, they do everything. So did you feel like anyone's listening to photographers when it comes to like things we don't like or whatnot?
That's what I actually liked because it was so flawless, our conversation. They were like genuinely interested in my workflow. So it made me feel that why not? Why couldn't I just express my feelings? And definitely like Adobe is just a huge part of the market. Like there is no photographer who probably don't know or don't use it, like partially here and there. It also happened around the time when AI just like everywhere. Like I take a ride down to San Jose. I see so many billboards about AI. It's like, it's right here. It's happening right now. And seeing Midjourney or any other tools that are working with pictures, like generating things, it really came to my mind right away that editing shouldn't be such a long process at this point.
Yeah.
that it shouldn't be that complicated to find your color or spend like 2 hours editing 100 photos.
Hmm.
So I saw like a great potential in that because I
Had
really saw
you,
how AI just move in
yeah.
that direction.
Had you had any experience with other AI software or AI photo editing programs?
I think I definitely also started Googling something
Hmm.
like that around that time. I've tried a few apps. I think I found a few online sources that were helping here and there, but there was no one service that I was like
Mm.
completely happy about. And you know how the neuron patterns work. You always like, oh, I'd rather do it like the way I know. And I would go back to Lightroom and just continue doing my routine.
Hmm.
So it is also a process to move from Lightroom to some like more automated program or like trust someone rather than your own hands.
Hmm.
And I think that's what I have been doing for the past 6 months since April, since I started cooperating with Polarr.
Yeah, I think, we all have a workflow, but it's all very unique and tailored to our business and, our looks, our presets, and what helps us to edit through our clients and export it quickly. I think that's a big hindrance
Mhm.
to a lot of photographers out there is they're not willing to change their workflow. Now we've got AI and it's like there's a lot of resistance to that.
We're
Hmm.
all going to be rejecting all new things at first.
Mm.
But I believe in technology. So
Hmm.
I just went for it. And so far, I'm enjoying Polarr like more and more every day, and especially working close with the team.
Hmm.
I really see the progress. I really see how much they listen to the feedback that I give to them.
Hmm.
It feels like I feel very appreciated. I feel like I've been heard and really my needs are being met.
Could I ask you this? Have there been any features that you requested in early builds of Polarr that got implemented into the next iteration of the build? Did you see anything specifically like, oh, I asked for that and now it's here?
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure there were. And I don't really know all the behind the scene,
Hmm.
but on our first call that we had, uh, my main kind of like concern or like complaint about editing was that I'd love my gallery all look unified. Like a lot of photographers, we do follow some kind of style in the photography. And
Hmm.
lighting condition can be so different that some photo shoots can take like an hour to edit, when another one is just like you're finding the shade, you're like, okay, how much more adjustments I need to make to meet my expectations. Um, and I feel like I cannot guarantee that they got this idea from me, but my main request
Yeah.
was yes, that I'd love a gallery to be unified, that I already have a preset, like it already should know how I like it, because
Hmm.
you upload your gallery in Lightroom and you're basically doing the same thing over and over. Like it
Hmm.
depends on like which lighting condition you're at, but you know your pathways. But there is no an automated tool that can do it for you.
How would you describe your style or like your look? Is it like more light and airy? Is it more moody?
hmm the first word that comes to my mind is emotional. I would
Hmm.
say maybe not moody, maybe not airy, but it's emotional. It's a little, it's definitely positive. It's warm. Mm, I should have prepared those words, but
Those are good words.
uh,
I like that you just don't just say, yeah, I would say the moody. I like that emotional,
I
warm, like that's good. You're selling me.
think so.
How long from, let's say, how long from uploading to exporting would it take you for like a 1 hour engagement session?
Mm, I would say for, yeah, an engagement session, it would be about 2 to 3 hours
Hmm.
to pre-select, edit everything, export, upload it.
When you select, are you very selective? So say like you shoot a 1 hour engagement session, you bring in how many images would you shoot? Like 600 or depends
More. It's actually, I would say it's 1200 average.
for a 1 hour session.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
out of those 1200, how many are you delivering to your client average?
About 100.
About 100 images. So you get real selective. And to get real selective like that, like 100 out of 1200, that can be pretty tough. Like I honestly, I tend to over select in a way. And I find it hard getting down to like that 100, that like, ooh, like the very best.
Yeah. Especially in this fast moving world, like when I open Instagram, like it's just one picture that you're gonna like. No one's gonna post like 100 photos. And just because I do storytelling through my photos, I want the gallery look a little more like something. It's a project. It's not just one photo. Because when people reach out to me to do like a headshot for their work, I wouldn't do it. It's not interesting for me, but I still want to deliver the gallery that people can potentially print into album or make like a nice collage on their wall of prints. But yeah, there is still one photo, even though that there are 5 of them that look great, there is one that will speak to me more. So I usually like directed by just the feeling. I look at them and I'm like, this one gives me feelings. I'll take you. You gotta make that choice. Yeah.
Man, I like that. Emotional is like the string that's like running through this whole thing, like emotional for your clients, and then you feel the emotion, and then when you're at home and you're editing again, feeling the emotion, it's drawing out to you. And I'm going to bring up your screen. Okay. And if you were sitting here giving a tour of Polarr to a friend or a colleague or, whoever that you want to share this program with, how would you start that tour? What would you start sharing people the key features and benefits of it?
So we're already in the Next Polarr app. I already logged into my account, and this is how it looks. This all the project that I've edited with Polarr so far. I'm not sure why this is not loading. Maybe that's the memory card problem, but
yeah, and we have to keep in mind, people, this is in private beta right now. So this is not even in the full release. They're still working on features and things like that. So early adopters like Alina, she's got a high pain tolerance for new programs, but she's still loving her experience.
Polarr is an application for photographers that does help you to make the process of your editing faster and easier using AI that learns your style and can apply it or reapply it on the future projects that you're going to be editing with Polarr. So you need for that a gallery with photos that you're going to edit, a preset, which you may have or may not, because Polarr provides some presets for you as well.
Yeah.
But if you're already a photographer, if you already know your style and want to keep it, you will be uploading your presets into the Polarr app. And then it kind of does the job for you with a little bit of input. So it is still a combination of you doing the edits and app helping you to do the edits.
Yeah.
So let me show you it practically. So we're going to create a new AI style, even though that I have a lot of different ones at this point.
Look how fast that uploaded. Like he literally didn't even finish the sentence and it just uploaded 76 just like that. Easy.
Exactly. Yes. I can't complain. The speed is great. I really, my Lightroom is worse at that.
So we got 11 images out of 76. So it's showing you these first 11. And why is that?
So as I said, it's going to be a collaboration between me and AI. And these are photos that AI pre-selected for me to choose as a reference. So it does detect out of your gallery, it does detect different lighting conditions, different sceneries, tries to pick one of the photos, and then you will be kind of like making adjustments in each of the scenes.
Yeah.
And then it will count it in for similar photos. Yeah. So it's like batch editing that you actually don't do because app itself knows where you want to apply those presets.
Wow, like I love the variety settings. It shows.
Yeah, you can tell that like inside, outside, indoor, with the sun on their faces, against the sun on their faces. So
quick question.
be very fun. Yeah.
I notice at the bottom of your images, there's 3 stars. Is that something that you had selected previous to uploading to Polarr? Is that like your
Yeah.
culling?
It's just narrative select. Yeah. It
Mm,
was from there. Yeah, it's interesting that it carries that information through
yeah.
on the photos. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm creating a new AI style. So I will be editing these photos the way I do it in Lightroom.
Hmm.
By the way, it has like an auto horizon tool, which is
Hmm.
still work in progress. But it does work well on photos where the horizon is a little more visible. This
You
one
know,
I also
I've
like.
never really used it, even in Lightroom. I don't know why. Like sometimes it levels good, but I just always since 2014, since I started doing Lightroom, I will always manually straighten my horizons.
I started also to delegating a little more. Like Polarr really
Mm,
taught me that I shouldn't do everything manually. So I started using this like straightening tool, and I'm really bad at like taking photos straight. So I would literally do it on every photo.
I love that.
So
Polar's teaching me to learn how to delegate these things so I don't have to do
yeah,
everything.
I really feel that uh, I need to learn learning,
Hmm.
not to be afraid of things that are like new.
Yeah.
This is very beautiful.
So I noticed
So,
you marked 2 images already as a reference. What is
mhm.
that? What does that mean? It's got these purple diamonds on there.
Yeah, that's right. So this is basically means that you approve this photo and you'd love AI to use it for the future edits. So this
Okay.
is a reference edit that it's gonna learn your style from.
And to be clear,
Uh,
again, it's not going to be editing the same as like what's on this film strip. Basically, it's those purple diamonds represent like a group of similar images in the whole catalog. Yeah. And when you
mhm.
finish that
Yep,
style, it's going to send it out to everything.
exactly. Yes. It's just like a photo, one of a kind. And it also depends on the size of the gallery.
Hmm.
Sometimes, like right now, I have 11 photos to edit. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 8. Depends on the complexity of the gallery.
Hmm.
And also, we are creating a new AI style right now. But
Hmm.
if you were to use your previous AI styles that
Hmm.
you can save on your profile, they're actually, you don't need to do this stuff. So all your
Yeah.
photos will go straight to editing. So you don't need this menu.
Yeah.
But since we want to showcase each of the steps,
So what was it like when you jumped into Polarr? Just like you and me and everyone else out there using Lightroom, you know, we're used to the exposure and all the different options on the right side.
mhm.
You got your presets and your history on the left. Was it a hard learning curve when you jumped into Polarr as far as like editing, exposure, and applying presets?
We've been discussing each of the parameters that I'm using right now on the right, and they're
Hmm.
like, okay, are you using this one? Definitely, Lightroom was just a baseline that I would refer to. So a lot
Hmm.
of the features that you see on the right, they look almost exactly like Lightroom,
Yeah.
and you still need them. Like I cannot imagine an editing tool without exposure or contrast
Hmm.
or anything like that, as well as I personally use HSL colors, not much curves, but
Hmm.
again, I believe I'm not the only photographer that Polarr was working with. So everyone did their own input, but definitely a lot of those features
Yeah.
I just mentioned, like, okay, I need this effect, or I need this one, or we need sharpness. So there was a lot of back and forth, like in
Hmm.
the process of making this application,
That's
which I
awesome.
love. I'll also, when I'm creating a new AI style, I would definitely spend a little more time since I know that I may be using it in the future and I
Hmm.
want app to understand my needs a little better. But right now, I may be not as precise with the colors.
Hmm.
So I'll try just to speed up this process, but you can take your time to make it the best, like to make it the best out of it for yourself. Aaron, have you used Polarr app?
Yes, I've been I can't remember exactly, but I've been using it now for like 2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice. How much time did it save for you?
it's really great. It saved a lot of time. The biggest catalog I've edited through this was 1600 for a wedding. And I was amazed again how fast it uploaded everything. It was honestly, it was fun. Like I'm a huge batch editor in Lightroom, and so when I'm editing through in the AI, you make an adjustment here or there, and I just love seeing it, constantly updating the next images down the line.
That's awesome. I know that, Polarr cares a lot about the speed of the app. They've been asking me all the time, like, are you okay? Is it not exporting too long? And I'm like, no, it's really, really quick, given that it's an online tool.
Yeah, what was your impression when they said, yeah, it's just done through Google Chrome?
Yeah. I may be orthodox at first, but I believe in technologies. So I would be like, I'm not sure, we have this Lightroom on my computer and like it feels so safe and it's a place that I know.
Yeah.
And then I started using it and then it just like, no, it works the same way. Why does it have to stop me from using it when it's really great?
Yeah.
And even like my internet speed, maybe not the most expensive one, but it still works very well. So
yeah.
And you'll see the exporting is going to be really quick as well. Okay, it looks like we're on our last photo.
Let's go.
11 pre-chosen one. So when I press mark as a reference edit, I then go to finish AI style and the magic happens.
Oh man, look at that. It's going so fast.
Nice. I love this like visual work that it does.
And I'm noticing the purple diamond. It's like signifying the different groups or sections. And that's awesome.
And you actually can add references at any point. If you feel like some color scheme or scene was not covered, you can go and add reference. It's going to be learning and applying it to the rest of your edits.
Wow.
Oh, that's very nice to see. Look at this indoor photos.
Yeah.
So we had only like one reference here. And then I'm still manually going to check the rest of the gallery to make sure, because how are we supposed to say? Is it like a better, that it's not a full release? Aaron, can you help?
It's still in private beta.
Yeah, private beta. So I would always expect small like imperfections, and I'm totally fine with that. I would always write feedback to Polarr about that. So if I see any bugs or if there is something that is just not working, I would always let them know. They would fix it like within a day. So going over this gallery, I can tell that this photo somehow didn't end up being as warm as I wanted, but it's interesting that, just a little heads up. I did edit this same gallery in Lightroom yesterday. Yeah. So we're actually going to compare how it's going to look after Polarr.
Let's go.
Yes. And even in Lightroom, I did turn this photo black and white, which I'm going to do here as well.
Wow.
So even though that it didn't match my colors, I'm like, okay, then you're going black and white. Everyone
that looks great.
Okay, moving on. Very colorful. Very
I noticed when you edited it in the top right, there's a lock. What does that mean on that image that you turn black and white?
Okay, so we've been talking about the lock here on the right top corner, which says it lock edit. So as you can see, it does apply to some of the photos automatically. If you didn't change anything on the photo, it wouldn't lock it. But if, let's say, I'll add a little bit of exposure, then the photo becomes locked, which means that I approve this edit and I want to keep it the way it is. And for my future references, if I would be applying more adjustments, this photo will not be included in it. So it saves like, I already like it, don't touch it. As far as I know, you can go into the settings right here, and you can kind of like authorize what you're allowing AI to do and what not.
Mm,
You can just dive deeper into that. That's new
yeah.
features that they have been editing. I haven't learned them yet. Yeah, I would do like small adjustments here and there,
hmm
but usually I'm happy with about like 70 to 80% of the gallery that I get.
Yeah. And that's big,
And
honestly, especially when you're going through a lot of photos. It saves a lot of time.
mhm, yes, like to edit a wedding with this, it's a blessing. Oh, this looks pretty nice. This
Yeah.
lighting is not the best, and it is quite complicated. Like in Lightroom, I would spend much more time just like, okay, like shades, how can I improve this one? Definitely
hmm
not the best on her face, but I still like the window and everything.
Yeah.
As we already know, I'm more directed by emotions rather than what makes sense. So a lot of
I like
photos
that.
are just, if that speaks to me, it speaks to me. Oh,
hmm
this is a good example. This photo have been taken from the other side of the window. So this is with the sun falling on her.
Oh,
And this, like, so it's the same area, but it's
yeah.
different direction of the light. And I
Wow.
really like that this photo does match the rest of the gallery. So it
hmm
doesn't make it look like this vibrant colors or anything like that. Because
Yeah.
if you know a little bit about photography, it looks quite different when you shoot against the sun and with the sun.
Yeah.
Some of the photos will be super vibrant, some of them will be just like faded.
hmm
So I'm going through everything. I like it very much. If you want, I can talk a little more about other presets that Polarr has. So
Yeah,
this photo,
definitely.
I also,
I was looking
while
at those
editing,
presets you got.
I don't have much, as you can tell, because this have been working well for me. And since
Yeah.
AI learns my style, I just don't feel a need. But Polarr has pre-installed presets that work about the same way as it
hmm
works with your presets. You can still adjust all of them
Wow.
and make them to your liking and maybe use it for your future edits. So maybe if I were to export this gallery today and deliver to the clients, I would spend another 10-15 minutes just polishing, making sure that I like each of the photos.
hmm
But I feel like yesterday in Lightroom, this took me about hour and a half to
hmm
edit. And right now I have it like within 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just literally reviewing. I'm just sitting here watching you and you're just reviewing, adjusting little things here and there. You're not like doing big batch editing. You're not like making huge adjustments. It's just literally lightly touching on everything. Can you
Mm-hmm.
demonstrate real quick what would happen if you went to a reference photo and you
Mm-hmm.
ultimately didn't like it? So that one right there where they're in front of the Golden Gate, right there, that one.
Mm-hmm.
If you adjusted that, is Polarr going to adjust the other images that are similar?
Mm-hmm. Yes, let's choose a little better example because that one is blurred. We don't
Okay.
know what we actually focused on. So let's say that I don't like the skin color on this photo.
hmm
And I will go in a little more, I would like to make it a little bit less yellow. And I would want her skin to be a little bit more orange. So those are small changes, but
hmm
they all will be encountered in your other references. I will press mark as reference and you'll see what happens here on the bottom.
Bam.
So,
Just like that.
so you can see that this processing was happening not on all the photos,
hmm
only the photos that have been shot at this scenario with the Golden Gate on the background. Only those photos were affected with
Yeah.
my edits.
And I saw in that gear, that little settings option on the bottom left, it does have a toggle, right? Where you can select it to only process the images forward rather than going back
Yes,
right there, forward only.
yes,
So in case you're like, oh, I
exactly.
like the ones before, but just the next one isn't in the same group. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to edit the ones that are in the forward process. I noticed you got the exposure panel, cropping, and then what's that circle? What is that like dotted circle? So you're
It's to creating a new
masking.
mask.
And right
Mm-hmm.
now they have radial and linear gradient, I believe.
Let's see.
Awesome.
Did we showcase everything? I feel like we're ready to export and maybe compare to the other gallery that I edited.
Yeah, let's
And
do
we
it.
also need to show my favorite photos that I edited with Polarr.
Perfect.
So I'll start exporting. I'm gonna do, oops, wait. I'm gonna do the Control A, and I'm gonna save all the photos in the original size, which is important to me, of course. Like it
Yeah.
has to be high resolution, even though that it's online tool, we're not losing any quality on it.
Mm-hmm. So overall, let me switch back real quick as we wait for this to export. We're almost at 30 images exported already, but overall, are there a couple things that you feel we might have covered this before, but I just want to like recap. Overall, what are a couple of things that you find that Polarr does better than Lightroom?
It definitely feels like the app actually cares about what I do. It's so nice to get a feedback from your job because I've been using Lightroom for many years and it's, I didn't see a major improvement in the tool itself. Like they would add sharpness or they also started like implicating small things to it, but given how big the machine is, Adobe, it doesn't feel like they really want to improve your workflow. They still using just the same kind of like technologies. So I really like that app helps you to edit it faster, understand your expectations, analyze your style. It's just awesome to see that it tries to help you.
Yeah.
And not only provide like parameters on your photos.
Yeah. How was the performance of like Lightroom on your laptop? Is it sluggish? Is it have like a delay? Does it take a little bit to load images and develop and stuff?
Yeah, especially if I would edit a few projects one by one. I really feel how my laptop is like overthinking. And then I would need to restart the app. I would feel like I need to take a break. I would do like a restart because the amount of memory that it's been using.
Yeah.
There is also a problem all the time with the catalog. So once your catalog is like more than, I don't know, 50, 100, it can go up. So all the projects that you save on Lightroom, they're stored on your computer as well.
Yeah.
Which takes space. And if you're using your hard drive on your computer,
yeah,
I just get easily run out of space, and then would need to move my catalog to like a SanDisk.
Yeah, that's also very true. That's also true. Man, export is done. I'm excited.
Yes. So we're going over what I edited in Lightroom. And if you remember a little bit from our Polarr edits, looks very similar, huh?
So this is Lightroom right here.
Yes.
I do notice a difference, and I mean, you could chalk it up to, yeah, you edited it differently in Lightroom per se, but the results, I'm thinking I like the results that came out of Polarr. They were like more warm. They were more contrasty, emotional. I feel that's the thing about it, right? Is like art. This is so subjective sometimes, where like one person, or I mean, whoever's watching this can be like, oh, I like the Lightroom edits, and like, that's not the issue here. The thing is the difference in speed, reliability, that Polarr has that quality when you export it, that is matching and, the same as you would get from Lightroom, and everything, and that you can get the same look and quality. So let's see these Polarr edits. Yep.
Here we go.
Nice.
It looks very similar. I do understand that like you can find a little difference here and there, but given how much time I spent editing this and how much time I spent editing in Lightroom, it's an amazing result.
Yeah. And that's
it's
really
the same sharp and vibrant, and you can always make the adjustments.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really what you're comparing there is the usability, the speed, the ability to edit high quality. It's all there in Polarr. Do you can I ask, do you do retouching and stuff in Photoshop as well?
Not much. I would do like some skin retouch with another online tool that I have. I would go back to Lightroom to patch things out, like power outlets or something like that. But I don't do much skin retouch in Photoshop, only like in rare occasions when there is something really bad happening on the face. But I like a little more natural style of editing, and I would do skin retouches only by request, which rarely happen to me because it's just my style.
Yeah.
And people come for that. So they like it to be more natural. They like being themselves.
Yeah.
And it's just your style. I love this gallery. I love it. I would maybe add a little bit more contrast. It's always nice to export the photos, give another look to them on a bigger screen. But this one is amazing. I don't know. It does match my style. Like I maybe would do small adjustments, but I like that the skin tone is right. It really delivers the colors that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. That was like the perfect catalog to do an example on. It was really nice. You have been a trooper and hanging out with me today and giving us a tour on Polarr and chatting about your story with Polarr and, you know, your history going through all the different iterations and testings with it. I would love for you to give some final remarks and just, you know, final thoughts about the program, or maybe you're just excited for the future of it or whatnot. But yeah, what would that be?
First of all, my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me to do this with you, being the first comer. Hopefully this is going to work out. If not, we're going to see each other again.
Yes,
and
of course.
I'll open the presentation. You let me know if it's coming along.
Yeah.
This is going to be, I chose those photos as one of my favorites that I edited with Polarr.
Oh, nice.
Wow. I can figure out how to change it. Okay, this should go up and down.
Oh, there you go. Yay. Let me see if I move us to the right side. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, here we go.
It's going to be random collages. So I just wanted to show you that those are results that I achieved with Polarr, which was pretty easy, fast, quick, very satisfying. I really like this photo shoot. I was taking in a daytime. I think it was around 9 o'clock, as you can see, not a lot of buildings around, and for me, it's the hardest to shoot under like an open sun, no shading, like you just have this straight direct light, and the editing is great. I really always struggle with those daytime edits the most, but here looks amazing. I really love this photo. I think it was the last one. So you can see a little beach setting, city, wedding.
Yeah.
A lot of different sceneries, and all of them great results.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, right, when you deliver your images to your clients are not asking whether you use Lightroom or Photoshop or Polarr, you know, they just want to see the quality. They want to see, you know, your style on it, right? And then, you know, the delivered product. And from what I see, like that could have come out of really Lightroom, whatever. It's really high quality. It looks great, and you did a good job. And it's awesome to see, like, as you demonstrated, how quick Polarr was Polarr is more than capable of achieving those results. And, these before and afters were that perfect example of that. So thanks for preparing that.
Thank you. Yes, my pleasure. And yes, you asked me to summarize everything, how I feel and what I like. First of all, being a part of like creating this tool was an amazing experience. It's really fun to see. Team is working very hard. They're very they really like what they do. They really believe in it. So it's amazing. And I'm trying to cheer them up with sending my galleries that I'm editing with Polarr, because yes, it's a new thing. Like people have to learn, implement, accept it, and spread the word about it. I'd love to be a part of it. So I see so much potential in Polarr. And I would love to see how this app just gets bigger, better, like get more technologies in it, like some old or like those must-haves in the editing world that can be just put together in one app. That would be awesome. Yeah. So I really looking forward to the path that Polarr is going to take. Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to, getting to know you more. I know as we're going to be on this journey together as Polarr users. And I just, again, thank you so much for your time and, coming on, to our video and, giving us a tour on this. It was really, really great. And
thank you.
Look forward to having you back and just seeing more of your work and, seeing you use the new updates and stuff, as this is, again, currently in private beta. And once it gets pushed out to a full release, it's going to be head turning for sure. So, Alina, thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning or day. It's afternoon for you. It's morning for me still. 11:36 currently here in Hawaii. So I'm going to let you go. Go get some coffee, stretch your legs, watch your dog.
Thank you. Yes, by the way, he's right here. Have been sitting next to me all time.
What's his name?
Want to be on camera. He's Odin. Odin.
Odin. Yeah. Wow.
Odin. Yes. So
he's been
supporting me to be on my first YouTube video, and yes, I can't wait to see the results.
All right, Odin, Alina, we'll see you later. All right.
Yes, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you everyone for watching this insightful chat with Alina about her Polarr Next experience. If you would like to try out Polarr Next for yourself, head down to the description below and you'll find a link to access the beta version of Polarr Next. We'd love for you to try it out, come back to this video and let me know what you think about it. If you enjoy this type of content and you haven't hit that like button yet, please, now's the time to show some love. Don't miss out on future videos. Hit subscribe, stay connected with all things Polarr Next, and I will see you next time.